be underclassmen, might be freshmen, and they got a long way to go. They could be the ones that rise up in the ranks because they're the ones that are going to have to work the hardest, which is a pretty cool secret. She's actually used multiple times over by professional baseball teams when they're interviewing their rookie recruits. They say, can you interview them? And she interviews them to find out what kind of a mindset they have. Do they have a growth mindset where they realize that the hard work does pay off? Or do they have a fixed mindset where they say, I'm just good no matter what. I'm just good because God gave me all this talent and I'm going to use it. Or do they say, I'm batting the cage every day. I am swinging hard. I am working hard with my players. That's the teams want the people that have the growth mindset that are going to work harder. So I want you to open up to page 13 right now. Because all of you, I hope, at this point in the game are pretty good at goal setting. And when I was in high school, I was pretty good. My coach had us set goals for ourselves. But what I learned was I wasn't really setting great goals. So this is a pretty important tool that I just want to point out for you, for the sake of those of you that might not be doing it this way. Your goals might be outcome goals that you're setting. Maybe at the beginning of the season, your coach would say, what's the goal that you have? So you might say, well, my goal is to drop my time by 4 seconds in my 200 IM in swimming. Or my goal is to make it to the district championship in basketball. Whatever your sport is. That's an outcome goal. What we've found is, what can motivate you better is to set an effort goal. So, for example, the bottom 3 little paragraphs. The first one, for example, a volleyball player might set an outcome goal of hitting at least 4 aces per match. The effort goal would be to keep her head up and follow through on the serve. So the effort goal is really what skills are required to make you better. Okay? So it just says, notice how you can't control how many winning serves you hit, but you can control whether or not to keep your head up and follow through. So if you're actually not focusing on hitting, but how you're doing it, will you serve better? You absolutely will. The most successful people can set effort goals. So right now, at the bottom of that page with little tiny states, I want you to think of an outcome goal that you might have for yourself coming up the next season that you're playing, or this summer, or the fall, for your sport. What's your outcome goal? But more importantly, I want you to write down an effort goal. What actual skills are required for you to improve enough to reach that goal? The outcome goal is sport. What sport do you have? What do you do? Sailing.
Yes, I know.
Okay, that's okay. So what's a goal that you might have for your next sailing? Do you have a season in sailing?
You're right.
Okay. So your next sailing time. What would be a goal that you might set in sailing? It's a time thing, correct? For sailing or no?
Race.
Racing. Okay, so you're racing against others. So do you have a competitor that you compete against that you would want to set a goal for yourself in sailing?
Well, you compete against a lot of people. It's like,
Okay, so that's your goal. Your outcome goal is at the end that you want to win the North American Championship. Okay? In order to get there, what skills do you need in sailing to improve in order to get there? Just give me specific sailing skills. I can sail a sled fish, and that's about it. I'm a windsurfer, but other than that, I can't so much. So tell me, like I have no clue what sailing is.
there's
I know there's 50
a
million.
lot of factors.
Okay, how about, are you going around buoys? This is going to really push me.
I'm sorry.
Are you tacking? Are you jiving? Pulling out my sailing words?
Oh,
Okay, so maybe improving the speed on your tack, or a jive, sorry, jive's more faster, correct? Yeah, nice, come on. Okay, all right, so maybe specifically there's a skill that will make that type of turning a lot faster. That's your effort goal. You're going to focus on making the jives faster, or let me give you a score. I'm just kidding. If you turn to the next page, there's a good cross-country example. Page 16. She wants to lower her cross-country time. That's her goal. Her plan. She's got a plan. Okay, this we call GPS. And this again, your goal is your effort goal. Your plan is your plan of action. How are you going to get there? Shifting gears is what you might have to shift halfway through to get there. So she's saying she wants to lower her cross-country time. The plan is she's going to up her interval training. She's going to increase her mileage. She's going to get a buddy to run with her. Okay, that's how you take these goals and you make them improving goals. Does that make sense? Okay. I hate to keep moving on, but we started late and I don't want to go over my time. But if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to that'll help too. I didn't mean to pick on you about sailing. I just crack up. Because every time there's a sport that I don't know much about. Page 16 is where the 14 it kind of explains the GPS, but 16 is where the example was. All right, so that's GPS, very, very helpful. I have a question for you. What's the number one roadblock to peak performance? Who thinks they know? It is the fear of something. Fear of failure, fear of making mistakes. Okay, number one roadblock to peak performance. So if we're talking about the elm tree, ELM, we're talking about fear of mistakes here. So let's talk about mistakes. There's something called a mistake ritual. Some of you might, anybody familiar with a mistake ritual? This is a physical sign, something that you can do to tell yourself and your team that it's okay that you made a mistake. Very, very effective, used by most athletes that are at the high level. Page 30, if you want to read it, that's where it is. I'm going to show you an example from Julie Fowley, something that she uses as a mistake ritual.
I did have a few